Am I wrong for telling my wife my job has to come before hers? Me, 35 male, my wife, 34 female, and our 2 kids, 3 and 5, live in a very high cost of living city. I make about 5 times as much as my wife do, so we do pretty well. If my income were the same as my wife's, we would not be able to afford living in our city. My job is pretty low stress, about 35-ish hours a week, with the only requirement that I be on call for 1 week out of each month. Normally nothing happens, so I do my usual routine with the understanding with my wife that if I am needed, I will drop whatever we are doing and work until the work issue is resolved. This only ever happens once every quarter and only lasts a few hours. My wife, on the other hand, has a much more stressful job. Her boss is incredibly demanding and often demands random and insane things just as a power play with her subordinates. She usually works about 45 to 50 hours a week. As a result, I take care of most of the housework. I was on call after work hours when my wife got a text from her boss about fulfilling an emergency request for a client. My wife complained to me that this request really could wait until tomorrow, but she would rather get it done so she doesn't have to listen to her boss. I had no problem with it, but I reminded her that I am on call, so I might need to switch with her if something came up. She made a grunt of acknowledgement, but nothing beyond that. About 2 hours later, I got an all-hands call to immediately come into the office. Normally I can resolve issues remotely, but we had an issue that prevented us from remoting in. I rushed upstairs and told my wife I had to leave, only for her to turn around and say, "Sorry, but my issue came up first. You're gonna have to tell your work that you can't." I was taken aback and told her no. This issue isn't something I can skip for anything short of I am physically in the hospital and can't come in. She got increasingly angry and started ranting at me. I told her I didn't have time for this and that I am leaving. We can discuss when I get back. She started crying, but I had no more time, so I left for the office. On the way, she called me to continue the argument, and in the heat of the moment, I said, "Look, I respect that you put a lot of time and energy into your work, but we cannot afford our house or lifestyle without my job. So when push comes to shove, my job has to come first. Otherwise, we're gonna be on the streets." She hung up on me after that. When I got home around 3 hours later, the kids were crashed out in the living room couch with several bowls of cereal spilled around them. I went upstairs and my wife was locked in the bathroom and refused to talk. In the morning, I found out from the kids that she spent the night crying in her room and didn't feed them dinner or tuck them in, so they made cereal and had a sleepover in the living room. Am I wrong?